Every crime has a story, but not every story gets told. In the shadows of justice, between truth and lies, there are dossiers filled with secrets, motives, and the unspoken. Welcome to Darkline Dossier, where we cross the line into the darkest minds and the coldest cases. Before we dive into the shadows of this case, make sure you're with us every time the truth surfaces. Subscribe to Darkline Dossier and hit the bell icon because some stories don't wait. And in the world of crime, the silence between two gunshots can change everything. Now, let's go back to where it all began. A quiet morning, a border town, and then the sound of gunfire. Something happened that day at the McAllen, Texas Border Patrol station that shook U.S. law enforcement to its core. Who was the man who walked into a government building and opened fire? Was this a personal vendetta or part of a much larger plan? This is not just the story of an attack, but of the twisted mind behind it, a mind that turned protectors of peace into targets of violence. McAllen, Texas, located just a few miles from the U.S.-Mexico border. This area has always been a hotspot for border crossings, human trafficking, and drug smuggling. That's why Border Patrol here is always alert and active. But the day we're talking about was just a regular day. Clear skies, calm weather, and agents reporting to duty like any other morning. No one knew what was about to happen next. Around 8 a.m., a man pulls into the station's parking lot. Security footage show him looking calm like any other citizen. But as soon as he walks inside, a loud bang echoes through the building. The first shot is fired, then a second, and a third. Agents are stunned at first, but immediately spring into action. Guns drawn, alarms triggered. The entire station becomes chaos. The attacker is now inside, and his targets, federal officers. Later identified by police, the attacker's name was Carlos Martinez, age approximately 32, a former truck driver unemployed for some time and reportedly struggling with mental health. Investigators reveal that Carlos had long harbored resentment toward the Border Patrol agency. He believed his close relative had been wrongly detained during an immigration operation. Authorities find troubling messages on his phone, mentioning revenge and making them pay. Was this a personal act of vengeance, or was he influenced by something larger, more dangerous? That question still haunts investigators. During the shootout, two agents are injured. One hit in the shoulder, another in the leg. But one of them, Officer James, refuses to back down. With barely any cover, he radios for backup and flanks Carlos. After nearly 6 minutes of intense gunfire, a final shot is heard, and the attacker collapses to the floor. It was self-inflicted. Before law enforcement could apprehend him, Carlos took his own life. The FBI immediately seals off the building. Inside, they find a handwritten journal filled with disturbing entries. One passage reads, "This is my decision. What happened to me shouldn't happen to anyone else." So was this just a disturbed individual? Or was it an act of protest against the border system itself? Further digging reveals that Carlos was active on extremist online forums. Some analysts believe he wanted to be a martyr, a lone crusader. But his act nearly cost two innocent officers their lives. The McAllen attack wasn't just another incident. It was a reminder that threats on the border aren't always physical. Sometimes they're psychological, ideological, or deeply personal. Thousands of men and women stand guard every day at the border, but no one knows where the next threat will come from, or when. The Border Patrol station in McAllen has returned to its routine now, but the scars of that day remain, not just on the walls, but in the minds of those who survived it. Carlos Martinez may have died that day, but the questions he left behind are still very much alive. What pushed him so far? Could anyone have stopped him before it was too late? Are there more ticking time bombs walking among us? This wasn't just a story of bullets and blood. It was a story of silence, of signs ignored, of a man who felt unseen, unheard until he made the world listen in the most violent way possible. And now we're left wondering, what happens when anger turns into ideology, when isolation turns into violence, and when the people meant to protect us become the targets themselves? Some say this was an isolated case, but what if it wasn't? If this story made you think or left you with more questions than answers, don't forget to like the video to support the channel, comment below. What do you think really caused this attack? And subscribe for more true crime stories that go beyond headlines.